Hello guys, this is Dr. Durgesh Bailur and I'm going to talk about a new syndrome which we call as the leaky gut syndrome. Let us find out what this is and how it affects our health. In healthy human beings, right from the oral cavity to the esophagus to the gastric area to the small intestine, the large intestine, and right up to the anus, there are about a trillion bacteria and small fungi, algae, viruses, all living peacefully in harmony. They are called as the gut microflora, or it's also called as the gut microbiome. When something goes wrong with the ecology of our gut, these normal commensals die and they are replaced by nefarious and very strong pathological bacteria which create a lot of problems in our health. We will look at 8 causes of LGS or leaky gut syndrome. The first one is food allergies. The commonest food allergies come from gluten, wheat-based products, from lactose intolerance, dairy-based products, and many of the in the population they have allergies to nuts, peanuts, cashew nuts, other nuts, and these food allergies cause a major problem in the gut flora and may be one of the primary causes. Number two, rampant abuse of antibiotics by both health professionals and by self uh, abuse when you take antibiotics without going to a doctor. Fortunately, it is not so common in the Western world because without prescription, you don't get antibiotics. But in India, many of the pharmacies do give over the counter antibiotics, and this can become a veritable health problem. And number three is that universal problem for everything, starting from organic problems to psychosomatic disorders, which is called as stress. Stress is handled through meditation, yoga, and many times through counseling. Number four is excessive use of candies, cakes, sugars in any form. If you take canned fruit juices, you can take anything that contains high levels of fructose can cause the problems for the bacteria which are peacefully residing in your gut. Number five is alcohol abuse. When lonely people, depressed people tend to use alcohol as a method of alleviating their loneliness, they inevitably turn to alcohol addiction and alcohol abuse. And this in turn reflects very strongly on the gut bacteria. Number six is nutritional deficiencies, vitamin A, D, and zinc. If any person avoids going out in the sunlight for a long time, then he inevitably becomes a candidate for LGS. Number seven is uncontrolled diabetes. Uncontrolled diabetes definitely causes immune deficiency. Immune deficiency, in turn, irrevocably is connected with leaky gut syndrome. And the last group of diseases, which are called as the autoimmune diseases, the celiac disease, especially the Crohn's disease, is definitely due to the immune system of a body turning against its own proteins and causing havoc in the whole body. What are the symptoms that make a doctor suspect a person may be having leaky gut syndrome? Number one is persistent bloating with gas and constipation and diarrhea persistently getting repeated week after week. Second is fatigue. Patient is unable to work, unable to concentrate. Number three is persistent headaches, and where patient needs to take a lot of analgesics, NSAIDs. The fourth symptom that the patient may suffer from is the rashes of the skin and acne on the face. Number five, joint pains appear to be very common in many of the patients, and so much so that some patients become absolutely disabled to even conduct day to day work because of joint pains, severe joint pains. Lastly, number six is the most horrifying and the most terrible of the symptoms, that is, the mental symptoms of depression, confusion, and sometimes deep anxiety. Again, they are all perpetrated by the leaky gut syndrome. Diet modification is one of the important strategies to limit the damage caused by leaky gut syndrome. Most favored are probiotic yogurt, kefir, some fermented cheeses, some prebiotic vegetables like eggplants, broccoli, papaya, blueberries, and almonds are something very useful. As per tenets of Ayurveda, in our villages, grandmothers and mothers feed their children dahi, or a fresh form of yogurt, and homemade butter in a regular basis. Thus, they make the colon bacteria, the gut bacteria, very strong. Tina, the Princess of Syrian Refugees, Volume 1 and 2, is now available with Amazon.com and available for home delivery. This is a beautiful novel based on flight of a Syrian woman with her family through the thick and thin of Syrian war in children.